So when you're at work, is it better to be sitting or is it better to be standing? And let's think about this in a historical perspective. In the Industrial Revolution, when people started working in factories, they had to stand all day long, but that brought along with it a whole host of health problems. And then as time went on in this last century, we developed an economy in which most people are sitting all day long. That brings with it another whole host of health problems. So which one is it? Which one's better for you? And really, it's actually a trick question. So, if you think of our bodies as we evolved in nature, we had to be moving in order to survive. But now in our modern day society, we've sort of taken out that need, and through convenience, we don't need to move to survive. Unfortunately, our body's evolutionary process is still intact, and we need that motion in order for everything to work right. So you can think of movement or any posture like medicine. And it really depends on the frequency and the dose that you're taking the medicine. If you take too much of it too often, it becomes poison. And you wouldn't necessarily just take some other medicine to try to counteract the first medicine and still take too much of it and still poison yourself. And here's the thing, is like a lot of people think of exercise and postures that way too, that if I, I'm stuck in one posture, say I'm slouching while sitting a lot, I'm going to do a lot of exercise to help strengthen my posture. And that can work and that can help, but let's use another analogy first. And this actually happens. Sometimes people might be heavy smokers and they're smoking 2 packs a day, but then they think they can, counterbalance that poison by going out to run 5 miles. And the body it just doesn't work that way. If you're poisoning the body, you're poisoning the body. And that's what I like to think about when people are coming to me with certain health problems, or joint problems or anything going on in the body, is to first try to find out, like, where's the poison? Are you sitting too much? Or are you standing too much? Are you wearing shoes that are killing your feet? The first thing to do is to stop doing the thing, or stop doing as much of the thing that is causing the problem. So there's even articles out that talk about sitting being the new smoking. And that's kind of right if you just take into account that people are sitting in one way, maybe at a desk, for long periods of time. But standing and sitting can be whole categories of motion. And so if you think of, let's say I'm going to sit down on the floor, that creates a whole different joint configuration in my body. And every different motion that I do while sitting is actually quite health-inducing. But if I sat in one way for a long period of time, then I'd start to get some bad effects on the body. It would start to wear down my body in that way. So here's what I would suggest, is that we actually have to build a new habitat. We have to build our homes and our workstations in ways that allows for more movement. And you could even do this with a timer if you wanted to be really diligent about it, is just set a timer, and every few minutes, if you haven't moved from one position, change your position, do something else. And then after a few minutes, do something else, find a way to stand, find a way to stretch and move. And so the moral is that nothing is good and bad in and of itself, but you have to keep moving to get the beneficial effects. All right, have fun moving. I'll see you next week.